Hello, beautiful soul. I am Maria Allegra. Welcome to my fairy fortress of a channel where I talk about the journey to empowerment and the collective healing. Today, I will be speaking about harmonizing your path, even when things are not necessarily exactly where you would like them to be. But that is a funny concept in itself. To have things exactly how you like. Of course, it's important to have ambition, dreams, goals, and to have a really deep knowing of what you enjoy and how to construct a lifestyle that is your soul and nourishment and keeps you feeling alive and well. However, life does not always match up to these certain expectations, and actually oftentimes when you come into these knowings and advancements in your spiritual makeup, it takes a while for reality to actually implement the steps in order for that alignment to actually occur. So yes, you can manifest and quantum leap and have all those life-riveting experiences, but generally speaking, it takes time for life to arrive in that specific way. Of course, you have these thoughts, ideas, and perceptions of what truly would make your heart sing, but how can you find the honoring of where you're currently at? I know for me, this is my ultimate current test of patience and really finding peace and joy for where I am, because I know now it is truly not a permanent experience. Like, I moved to this city I never knew, expecting to have a certain vision of what was going to happen, especially because it's my last year of my 20s and I was ready to jump into a specific kind of life experience where I was immersed in community, networking, and going kind of in this like opening of just being around people more, as I've often been a really independent lone wolf, as they say, through my life. I finally had this feeling of like, okay, I'm ready to jump in, but the universe was like, not so fast. I think that I had some deeper lessons to truly implement before I reached that place in life, and that's okay. So I think refining your emotional control is really the guide in order to harmonize the path. Because I really believe if you dream something, if you feel like something is waiting to happen for you, that you are on the path. It just may not look like what you assumed it was going to look like. And so as I drop in and tune in to where I presently am in my fairy fortress, I realize that it's really about harnessing my emotional control. It doesn't mean to numb your emotions, and it doesn't mean that you can detach and conceptualize all your feelings, but rather truly be the observer, to really refine and crystallize the feelings within rather than letting them drag you from moment to moment. And of course, this is an ever-flowing life journey, and I do think that life is, generally speaking, a lot easier in some ways when you're isolated and alone, because there's not as many external forces. I do believe there's a part of your journey with healing where being alone is vital and necessary, but I do think the extremes of isolation is inherently caused by a trauma response of not really wanting to be seen and not really being trusting in what's actually available out in the world. I think once you reach a certain level of trust in the universe and the trust in yourself, that's when you feel like you can welcome yourself into more socializing, more relationships, trusting the path that you're going to be connected to souls that are reflections of you. Like, how beautiful is it to find like-minded people? Reminding yourself that life is phases of creation and phases of deconstruction, and knowing that it's not always going to be this ultimate expansion, and sometimes you kind of are cocooning in your own essence to review and a really clear perception of all that is you, all of your wants, desires, and maybe all the things that are not necessarily in your best interest. I know that once I landed here, pretty much a lot of my reality kind of started falling apart, but I know it's because it's all to eventually bring it all back together. Cycles, especially when you don't have external opinions or attachments of certain connections that are kind of in a way maybe disrupting your perception of your path, you can hear your own internal guidance so much more prominently. And that was the beauty of the way that things were falling apart for me here, was just that it was no longer really the opinions of people that may have been outdated in my reality. I was able to really extract the most positive, high loving experiences in my life and emit and replicate those rather than the repetition of certain maybe shadowy patterns that I've experienced in the past. And I think that's how you can go about life, is really extracting your favorite memories, your favorite essences, like the way that you felt or the way that someone made you feel, taking those moments and harnessing them in creation of your own. I think the most important part of harmonizing your journey to get to the places that you want to be is seeing things from the aerial view, seeing things from up above. And I remember when I felt really lost as I was living in Egypt. It was during the lockdown era, and I essentially couldn't leave. And I was just like really confused as to why the universe had stuck me there. But I remember sitting on my rooftop of my villa that overlooked the holy mountains and the Red Sea, and all of a sudden I was able to literally like see the perception of the whole town as if I was above myself, and I saw the bird's eye view, I saw the aerial view. It was like I was able to detach of the heaviness that was within me, and I was able to just kind of be guided to see things from above, to not feel so dense, but to rather feel expanded and know that it's in my control to feel light again. It's in my control to feel expansive again. And I just have to take a few moments of awareness and not feel so trapped, because in a way, in that moment, I technically was trapped. I couldn't leave that country, I couldn't leave the city, even if I wanted to. I was like, really, it was a special moment of like, you kind of are stuck here. So my way of not feeling so stuck and dense in my own aloneness in those moments was kind of just to really elevate myself and see things from above, quite literally. But of course, you don't have to literally do it. You can just figuratively do it and kind of just tune in for a moment. Journey through yourself and look at your whole timeline, everything that's maybe happened recently, and kind of, in a way, detach from it and see how it could possibly be leading you where you want to go, extracting the goodness out of it, the lessons, the refinement that you're experiencing, and truly honoring them. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate your presence here, and if any of what I said resonated with you, I would love for you to share your reflections below. Please subscribe so you can continue following the journey together. Sending you so much love. Mwah.